The Captain's Log Radio with your host, Captain Jonathan Moss.
Hey, this is Captain Jonathan Moss with the Captain's Log Radio, and this is our Tackle Box Tip segment presented by Icon Coolers. Today I got Captain TJ Saunders, and he's got a tip. We were talking about it before we were recording. Let me tell you, when it comes to being out on the water, things don't always fall into place, and it's super important that you handle it correctly. TJ, take it away, man. What do you got for me?
Thanks, Jonathan. My tackle box tip is not actually a knot or a lure. It's how we approach our fishing.
Yeah.
I think we all load up the skiff. We all go out and we have an idea in our mind of what's going to happen and how it's going to go. And throughout the course of your fishing adventure, things are going to change. You may find yourself on the flat. The water's not as clean as you thought it would be. And we have to be adaptable. As Jonathan has talked about many times, making adjustments and changing things up to fit your fishery is going to make your day more successful. One of the things that I've found, especially in my fishery here in Apalachicola, Florida, is our water may change from crystal clear to a little stained and off-colored throughout the course of a tide. And if I'm so dead set on using a certain fly or a certain soft plastic, being whatever color that might be, that might not be the right combination for the conditions I'm in. And without the ability to make an adjustment, without the dynamic ability to be flexible and change up my routine, I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to have fish and opportunities to catch fish. So I think having an open mind going into your fishery that this is what might happen. I need to be prepared and have maybe the same fly in a darker color, maybe the same fly a little heavier, maybe the same soft plastic in a darker color, or a little heavier, or maybe a little lighter jig head. Might be the difference between finding success or striking out. I fished a client not long ago. We were fishing redfish, and he was very adamant about, I want to catch him on crab flies. And I've got a bunch of crab flies, and we go out and we're fishing, and the fish just aren't keyed in on crab flies. And we're about 2 hours into this trip, and we've had shots and straight plain refusals. Not misses, but straight refusals. And he was kind of holding hard to the line of, I want to throw crab flies. Well, we had a little conversation. We took a break, had a soda on the boat, and I said, hey, John, I think it's time we change things up a little bit. Let's throw on a bait fish. Threw on a small pinfish pattern. First fish we cast at landed it. 27-inch redfish in the boat. And I think it's important to be open-minded. So that's my tip for the day. Be open-minded, be ready to make an adjustment, be prepared, be equipped to make an adjustment. And you've heard me say it before, you heard it on our podcast. Do what the fish tell you to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how this guy stays and has a job, how he stays in business, but the weatherman is often wrong. And so you show up to the water and you don't have the conditions that you expected. Okay.
That's right.
It's a little bit colder. It's a little bit windier. It's a lot prettier, whatever. You have to be prepared. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And proper preparation might be going, okay, here's a plan A, plan B, plan C. As guides, as people who are on the water full time, there are days, right? We get these fish dialed in. We get a pattern. We know exactly where they are. We know exactly what they're going to eat. We know exactly everything. And then we show up, and guess what? It changed.
It changed.
Fish moved. And you've
right.
got somebody on your boat who's paying you good money to give you those opportunities to cast at a fish, to catch a fish, to present whatever, a fly, a lure, a bait to these fish. And they moved and they changed, or conditions are different. Okay. You've been having a north wind coming at, a 10-mile-an-hour north wind. And so you have, you're going to a specific spot that's protected, that's got fish. And all of a sudden, it's your day of your trip. And that wind shifted and it's coming out of the south and it's blowing 20. And you're like, oh man, this is completely different than the pattern I had.
That's right.
You have to be prepared. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And that might mean having multiple lures on your bait. That might mean, hey, I'm a lure guy, I'm an artificial guy, but it might mean I need to stop at the bait shop and pick up a couple of dozen live shrimp for my clients, because if we don't, we're not going to catch any fish today. Or it might mean, hey, like TJ said, having different flies or the same fly pattern, but different colors. Okay. You never know, but proper preparation prevents poor performance. Being ready to go can make all the difference. And having backup plans can make all the difference. Love it, TJ. That's great, man. Well,
Thanks, buddy.
This is Captain Jonathan Moss and the Captain's Log Radio with our Tackle Box Tip segment presented by Icon Coolers and Captain TJ Saunders. Dude, bringing us focus, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. So thanks for being here today. Hey, if you want more of this, we release a new Tackle Box Tip segment every Thursday. So make sure you are liking, subscribing, you're hitting that bell on YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere you want to listen to podcasts, you can listen to the show. Appreciate you guys listening along. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Captain's Log Radio with your host, Captain Jonathan Moss.